Hi everybody, Howard here with how to play great blues guitar solos, and this is lesson number 3 in the series, and in this one I'm going to address a question that many of my students have offered up over the years. Hey Howard, when you're playing a blues, how do you combine the minor pentatonic with the major pentatonic successfully? Because often the major pentatonic just doesn't sound that good, but what I'm going to do is show you the sweet spots, so to speak, okay? So before we get into it, I'm in standard tuning and I've got a clean tone, so no magic tricks here, okay? So first of all, let me say this. You can most definitely use the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic scale, over all 3 chords in a standard blues progression. In this case, an A7, a D9, and an E9, and then maybe an E7 sharp 9 on the turnaround, okay? You can definitely use that major pentatonic scale against those 3 chords. It's just a little bit tricky, right? And I think that's what stumbles a lot of people. They go, hey man, it just doesn't sound that good, okay? But I'm going to kind of show you the sweet spots, how to use it, mix it up with the minor pentatonic, and also we'll talk about some chord work that comes off of that major pentatonic scale, an A6, an A7 sus2, things like that, okay? So first of all, let me do a little bit of playing where I'm going to mix the 2 up, okay? So I think you can probably hear where I'm switching between the 2 scales, right? Where that sound of the major pentatonic comes in. It's very different from the minor. Right? So once again, I want to stress that you can use the major pentatonic over all 3 chords. It's just a little trickier. You can do it with a little practice and some time put into it, right? But most of my students have said, I just can't make it sound good. So how do I make it sound good? Well, here's a great idea. When you're playing the 1 chord, the A7, that minor pentatonic is an excellent choice, right? But when you go to the 4 chord, the D9, that's a great place to use the major pentatonic. It just ties in really, really well with that D9 chord. Right back to A, right? And of course you want to know the scale in a couple of different ways. In its linear shape, which you can see on the screen. All right? And in its standard box shape. It looks exactly like the minor pentatonic, but at the 2nd fret. So you can dive into that over that 4 chord as well, all right? So another cool thing you can do is add some colors that kind of bring out the sound of that major pentatonic, right? So this first chord is just an A6, 7th fret on the D string, 6th fret on the G string, and 7th fret on the B string. And we're going to slide that. And you're going to play that over the A chord, right? This is familiar terrain, right? The Allman Brothers, Stormy Monday, and so many other great players. It sounds really cool, and it's a nice touch. It sort of brings in that flavor of the major pentatonic. And of course, once you slide it a whole step down, and it's still over an A chord, that becomes theoretically, okay, an A7 sus2, okay? But you can just think of it as a cool shape that works over that A chord. And then you can play it over the D chord starting at the 12th fret. right? And over the E chord, starting at the 14th fret. You can also do it like this. Play over the A chord, over the D chord, over the E chord. So you have access to it wherever you happen to be playing on the guitar, okay? So having said all of that, okay, what I'm going to do is put together an example solo here, complete with tab on the screen. Nothing fancy, nothing treacherous, okay? Just a simple straight ahead thing, okay? And I will bring in a bit of lessons 1 and 2, okay? Lessons 1 was targeting the thirds. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do. And lesson number 2 was using chord scales, okay? So let's do that example solo, and good luck with it all the way. Here we go. So there you go with combining the major and minor pentatonic scales together along with a little chord work for color, okay? I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys in the next video.